One way one way to overcome this is that we can create multiple keys from different email IDs. So basically, if for the free plan, it will ask you it will verify your email ID and phone number. So the code is written in such a way like you can use, it will cycle, the automatic key rotation will happen. So every time for every search, a new key will be used. So what we can do here is that we can use, 4 or 5 keys, and that's one way. Otherwise, Abhijit can go for this $75 per month wala plan.
Can mute somebody who is talking. Bikram, one question I had.
Yeah.
When you tell like 4 5, it rotates around among the 4 5 different keys, right? So then, like you can log in, I can create an account, Damodarji can create. So you are telling like
Yes.
within across we can.
Yes.
Okay, understood. Got it.
So if I show you an code example, uh, so this is something I'm doing today in Actanalyzer. So one of the code, if I show you,
Got it. Yeah, acknowledge it. Yeah, the one which we are working right now.
yes. So what we can do is that if you see here several API keys, right?
Yeah,
So this, if you see here, this will be basically, a list of keys.
got it. Understood.
Okay. So what we'll do is that we'll cycle through the keys, this line, if you
Right.
see.
Yes. Yes.
So what will happen is that every time, a request comes in,
Yeah.
let's say this function handles the incoming request, what I'm doing is this line will basically pick up for every new request that comes in, a new key will be picked up. So it
Okay.
will cycle
Yeah.
through the list of keys.
It is not. Got it. Got it. Sure. Yeah. Thank you.
So that's one way, that's just a hack.
Yeah.
Or like one can take this plan, $75, which is like 5,000 searches a month, which I think Abhijit will eventually need it once, he wants to, they say, scale up.
Yeah.
Otherwise, for now, like he can create one key, or his friends or some relative members can create 2 3 keys, and we can cycle through the keys.
Correct. Yeah. That
Okay.
should be fine, right? Damodarji, right now?
Yeah, it should be fine, Jay. Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So other key that we need. So basically, we also need to do summarization of an article, right? So how do we do that now? There are other. The easiest way is to use ChatGPT, but ChatGPT is not free. You'll have to pay for it, right? And
Yeah.
the free version of ChatGPT is also like it's not very good, that I would say. So the other alternative is what we do is that we use open source equivalent of ChatGPT. So there's a company called Grok.com. So you can come here, open up an account, and get an API key. So the advantage of here is that there are various open source models. If you see, I'm clicking on it. So these are various open source models. So these models are basically language models, just like ChatGPT, and it's free also now. It's free, and also when they kind of roll out paid subscriptions, this will be. Let's see, where did it go? So when they come up with paid versions, also it's very cheap compared to ChatGPT, as well as it's for the time being it's free now.
Got it. So
The
this
link,
is
if
a
you see,
different company, is it? Somebody is
yes.
competitor.
So if you
Okay.
yes, so it's free now. If you see $0, it's free,
Sure. Yeah.
and it's also very cheaper because we do not need the advanced sophistication of ChatGPT here, because what we will do, we are just creating summaries of articles. We have got English articles. We need an AI to generate summary of those articles, right? So what we'll do is that
Yes. Yeah.
I'm using this. It's called Grok, and it's free for now. And whenever they come up with uh, paid plan, it will be very cheap. Like in a month, you'll be paying around $1, $2. something like that, or highest $10.
Got it.
So here also you go to grok.com, you create an API key, and you will use that. You can just create an API key here. The other thing that you obviously need is, Nitin, is PubSub.
Pops up, yeah. Topic.
So
and,
here, like I've
subscription.
created one. This is my private account.
Right.
So you create a PubSub here, and obviously we need the Google credentials, Nitin.
Yes, yes.
So Google
Sir,
gives out a
okay.
JSON, right?
Yes.
So
Where have you accounted and checked that in config somewhere?
yes, so just like I have this one, this you can download a JSON
yeah.
from. It has all the things, right?
Understood. This I got it.
So, yes. So these are the okay. So again to the keys that we need here is one is Zeit API key. Okay. So Zeit is. So we go to Zeit.com. And here you go when you create a key. Right? From here you need to create a key. So otherwise you will have to create one, and this is what we need: a Zeit API key. So this is the from SERP API key, this is Grok API key, and the Google credentials. And obviously in here, if you see Postgres host, you will have to replace Postgres host and Postgres password, user password and host.
User password.
So all these things have to be put in the env file. In Docker file.
Yeah.
So the code actually what I've written is it will pick up this. If the environment variable is not set, it will pick up the default one from the env file.
Okay. Got it.
Okay.
Yeah. Any doubts, guys? Yeah.
So let me know. Is it
It is
clear
mostly
till now?
for us, Nitinji. It is only to set up, I think. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. We need to set it up.
So for setup, you will need Google credentials, GCP PubSub, API key from Zeit,
SERP API. And,
API key from Grok,
yeah.
and SERP.
Right.
So set up 4-5 keys. Okay.
Yeah.
So set up 4-5 keys, and the keys actually, so in the env file, right?
Yeah.
So here, if you see Google New SERP API key, so this is a one key, right?
Yeah.
So give it a comma separated list. So say comma,
okay.
key, say key 2, comma, key 3.
Right.
So in the code, what I'm doing is that I'm basically splitting on comma and then taking the keys.
Got it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So now I'll go to basically the entire process, how the code actually, how everything is that thing. Okay.
Yeah.
So the first part is that there will be a cron job which will be running, say, it will be running say once a day or twice a day. So news publisher.py. So Sagar, the entire code will hand it over to you. Okay. You'll need to go over the code, understand.
Okay, sir.
Okay. And going forward, you'll have to do all the necessary changes. Okay. So I'll give you the code. So once you understand the code, right? Once you understand the code, then you and I can connect for any doubts that you might have. Okay.
Sure, sir.
So Nitin, so for Sagar to start, right? You'll have to because when I give him the code, I will remove the Google credentials and the API keys from the code.
Okay. Yeah, because it's your private from where you are doing it, right?
Yes. So for him to start, you'll have to set up the keys and GCP PubSub.
Yes. Right.
Okay. So
you remove Bikram, you just comment and say that this is the key required from this URL.
Yes.
I think you can put a comment on top. Yeah, that will
comment.
Yeah.
Within in the env file, right? You will see. So here I have comments say PubSub details.
Yes.
The
Yes,
topic ID and the subscription.
Topic
This you will have
ID,
to give it
subscription.
ANB.
Correct, yeah, got
So
it.
any kind of configuration goes into ANB.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah,
So okay. So news publisher.py. So this is the file that we need to schedule it via Cloud Run scheduler. Okay. So what this will do is that what this code does is that now going back to the tables that we have. Okay.
yeah,
So we have these tables: news articles, news geolocation, languages, search keywords, search topics. So the news publisher.py, what it does is that it basically uses these two tables. So basically when the code starts, okay, when the code starts, it will automatically create all the tables. It will check if the required tables are present. If not, it will create automatically all the Postgres tables will be created. Okay, and all the table configurations like schemas and everything. So inside the config folder, there is a file called postgres configs.py. Here one can find all the tables that are required, and the name of tables and everything is here actually in env file. So primary articles, news articles. So this table where the original fetch articles are stored. So whenever the code fetches news articles from the web, it will be stored here. It will be processed and stored here. Now there's another table called search keywords. So this is basically, so search keyword tables will contain keywords. So when I say keywords, right? So these are the keywords which Abhayji can basically decide what are the keywords, based on which keywords, what kind of news should be fetched. So for example, if I go to search keywords, this table, right? For example, the keyword called India elections, right? So then what the code should do, the code should take this keyword, search the internet for, news articles related to India elections, right? And there's a column called geolocation, IN. So IN means India. So I want the news articles should be within from India only, not from anywhere else. Okay, and this is called is enabled. So basically, if you want to disable this particular search keyword, is we can just set this is enabled to false. And basically, this is keyword. So one can basically search news articles based on two things, either on keywords based or topic based. Okay, so there's another table called topics. Now here, if you see, these are the various topics: health, India, entertainment, science, sports, technology, world, business. Each topic has got a unique token. Now, how do we get this token, or how do we add new topics? So if I go to, these are basically Google News topics. Right. So if you go to Google News, you see these are the various topics. Right. So in Google News, you can either search for something or you can view news based on these topics.
got it.
Right. For example, if I go to technology, right,
Yeah,
you will see in the URL there's a token. This one, CAA, this one,
yeah,
right?
the URL, right.
Yes. So anytime if you want to add a new topic, what we do is that in this table, I come and just add one more row with token, name, and other things, and basically geolocation, right?
Yeah,
So this is the table where you can add topics. And also, like if you want to enable, disable a topic, there's a column called is enabled. So here, if you see, I've just enabled three topics.
yeah,
Right. So currently what my code does is that this code, the one which will run, which one should be the one which will run periodically. What this code will do, this will search this table, topics table, see which topics are enabled. Let's say, for example, India, entertainment, and sports I have enabled for now, right? So this code will fetch all the enabled topics from here and the keywords from this table, which are enabled. Then what it will do is it will use the Google News SERP API to where did it go? Okay, publish news to PubSub. So here it will this line, if you see, it will fetch all the topics from the table. This one will fetch all the keywords from the table, and then what it will do is that here it will okay. Now this will get all the news articles related to those topics and related to those articles. Now when I say fetch news articles, so Google will give you the URL of that article. It will give a URL and few metadatas. Now this newspublisher.py, what it will do is that it will take the topics, take the keywords, fetch the article URLs from Google News and push them to GCP PubSub, that topic. So each message that goes into the topic, where does it go? Okay, publish news to PubSub. Okay, so this is a PubSub message. Now each PubSub message that is pushed will have a title, news title, link, like basically the URL. So query, so this is basically, the query that was used. It can be, so basically this query field will contain the, whether it was, like for example, if we're searching news based on say politics, so this query will contain politics, and query type. So when I say query type, today we can have two kinds of queries, right? So it can be a search keyword or a topic. So basically this is to differentiate, the search that was picked up, the search topic that was picked up is either from the search topic table or the keywords table. So whether it's a keyword or a topic that we are looking for.
Got it. Yeah.
And then so the PubSub message that will be pushed will have these values. So title, link, query type, summarize article. So this is you can basically either turn on or turn off summarization, and excluded target languages. This means basically the languages that you want to avoid translation. Now here I have a table called news languages. Now if say tomorrow let's say for example I've added this language, SMS, English and Hindi. Tomorrow say Abhijit wants to bring in a new language that he wants to do translation. What he has to do is you just need to add here. You just need to add one row here, and the code will automatically pick it up. And I have another table called geolocations. Let's say tomorrow you want to collect news from any other country. You just have to come in this table. You just have to turn on this is enable field. You have to just switch it from toggle it from false to true. Now here only, if you see here only, yes, if you see here, this one only India is enabled, rest is false.
Yeah, got it. Yes. So this there is no need to add anything, right? It's already everything is available. You just have to turn on and off.
Yes, turn on and off. Yes.
Got it.
And languages, right? Now, for example, all the supported languages. Okay. Now here, currently there are 3 languages, but only say English is enabled and Hindi is enabled. Okay. Now. Okay. Now, basically here, what I'm in there's a file called Google languages.json. Now here I've added a comment. All the data is picked up from, now these are the languages that is supported by Google. Since we use Google Translate, we need to know which languages are supported by Google. Okay. Now tomorrow, if Abhijit wants to add any more languages, he just has to pick it up from here. Let's say he wants to add French. So what he has to do is he have to pick up this. Each language has a unique code given by Google. So for French, it is FR, if you see. So what Abhijit has to do is that in the table, he just has to go add the language code here. Language code will be FR. Language name will be French. And here, if you see, there's a table, there's a column called table name. So what I'm doing is that each language has got its own table. Now, news articles, this is actually the primary table. This is the every article that is processed will be stored here. Like there's a URL field, original URL, headline, everything is here. Now, each article that is here, now let's say we want to convert, we want to translate it to Hindi. So then there is automatically a table will be created for the particular language. When you add a new table, when you add a new language, a new table will be created for the particular language. Now, if you see here, the table called articles in language Hindi. Now, this is automatically taken care of. One need not create a table manually. So, if you add here, like in the code has actually got functions. When you add the function, when you add this language here, automatically, a corresponding table will be created. Now, for example, like say in Hindi, if you see here, Hindi, it's corresponding table name is articles in language Hindi. Now, if I go here, articles in language Hindi, and I view the first 100 rows, you see here also the articles are stored. And if you see, it's translated to Hindi.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, amazing. Even everything is contents, headlines, everything is translated,
Yes,
and stored in this
everything is
table.
translated.
Amazing.
Beautiful, Vikramji.
Is there any this one, Vikram, like restrictions with respect to the length of the article, like so many bytes, etc.?
No, nothing. But the thing is that
Yeah.
the minimum you keep it, less is your cost.
Okay, yeah,
So it's like headline, if you see it's translated,
yes,
content is
content.
translated.
Hmm.
Now this is the summarized content that is also translated. Okay.
Yeah,
And the thing is that this in this, for example, now articles in language Hindi, right? So this
yeah,
column URL, this is a foreign key, which refers to this news article's primary key.
Hmm. Right,
Now this is the where English articles are stored, right? So basically,
right,
what will happen is that if you delete, let's say you delete this row from here,
yeah,
automatically, let's say we translate it into say Hindi and say French.
yeah,
Now automatically this article will be deleted from other tables also,
got it. Okay, yeah,
because what we need here, we need consistency. Like any
correct.
article, it should be either present in all the languages or none of the languages.
Exactly. Very important point. Yeah, perfect. Got it. Right.
Yes.
Super. And one question I had is like, say you create table for each language, right? So in each of these language tables, the headline will be referring to the English table only, right?
Yes, yes. So the URL, right? So the
Ah,
URL will be referring. So basically, in
okay.
here,
URL is the
this is the
foreign key.
Hindi
Yeah,
table.
yeah.
That's the foreign key. So this is the Hindi table here.
Hmm.
This articles in language Hindi. So
Right.
this URL field will be
Hmm.
referring
Hmm.
to that primary table, news
Primary
articles.
table, news articles table. Got it. Okay, okay. And it will be like not just Hindi, even French, even any other language tomorrow
Yes,
will be pointing to the same news article one.
yes. So if I show you
Got it.
the schemas here,
Yeah.
Postgres config. Okay. So here, if you see translated articles table schema.
Hmm.
Okay. So here I'm saying foreign key URL field
Hmm.
references. If you see, this is the primary articles table,
Primary articles. Okay.
and I'm
Got it.
saying on delete cascade. So basically, if you delete any article from the primary table, it will automatically get deleted from other tables. So Postgres
Got it.
will take care of that.
Perfect. Yeah. Super. This
Now
is
this
great. Yeah.
primary key tables is basically the schema. This is the table of the English article table.
English article. Got it.
Okay. So news publisher.py. So this is one which will need to get scheduled. So this will run. fetch the links, article URLs, push it to GCP PubSub. Now, from here, after pushing, what will happen? We need a consumer. Now, basically in source, there's a folder called news consumer. Now, this is news consumer. So this, what we will do is that, so this also will run it in a different Cloud Run instance. So this will take, one by one message from PubSub. Now here, if you see, I'm saying PubSub message, pubsub.parse_raw. So this basically take the messages to pick up one by one message from the topic, and it will process it. Okay, it will process it. So when I say process, what it will do is that it will scrap the contents using Zeit, then do the translation, do the summarization, and then store it on all the required tables. Now this PubSub will run. Now this consumer will run. Now this consumer internally, so here I have different endpoints. So there's a folder called routes. So here you will see all the different URLs, different endpoints of the microservice. Now there's an endpoint which says get article by URL. Okay, so yes. So internally that consumer will call this API endpoint process URL. Now what this process URL will do is a function called process article. Okay. So here what I'm doing is that now I'm basically taking in all the languages, target languages. So when are the target languages? The languages to which the English article is to be translated. Now it will take it from this table, that table that I showed here, news language table. It will pick it up from here. It will pick it up from here. Okay, and then here if you scrap URL, so this will basically here it will call Zeit API. It will take the article content. It will take the article content and also it will summarize it also. Here if you see, I'm passing a parameter called summarize article. So this will summarize the article, right? And then it will do the translation. It will translate the article to say today to only Hindi, and then here there's a function called save articles to tables. Now this will save all the required all the articles to the respective tables. English article will be saved in English table, Hindi to Hindi, say French in French table. So it will store it. So Sagar, so I will give you the code tomorrow. I will comment out the API keys and everything.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So for you to understand the code, right? So for any kind of configuration, okay, any kind of configuration parameters, you will find it in dev.env. Like say table, I've put in comments also. The table names, okay, the API keys is there in dev.env, okay. And basically this dev.env, right? So inside config, we'll find a file called common config.py.
Okay,
All
sir.
the configuration from dev.env is actually read here in common config.py, right?
Okay.
So if you go to common config.py, we'll find everything here. So this common config.py will be actually then used internally in every code. Okay. Then Postgres config.py is where you will find the schema of every tables that I mentioned.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Then how do you start reading the code? Okay, you can first go to newspublisher.py. Okay, so this will this code, as I told you, right? Read the article, read the information from the table, fetch the news and everything, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and there's a folder called news consumer. Okay, so news consumer is where the messages will be fetched from GCP PubSub, right? And here there's a folder called database handlers, right? So here basically, since we're using Postgres, then you will find a class called Postgres handler. So this one handles all the communication to Postgres. Okay. So you need not
Okay.
change anything. Okay. And Nitin, so
Yeah, Vikram.
that Postgres instance that you will have, right? So will it have
Yeah.
a public endpoint or will create a tunnel?
No, because it is all in the same setup. No, we will have an internal domain. Uh, Whatever internal domain is there, no, we can use that only.
Okay.
Okay,
So then
because
for Sagar to
then
run the
tunneling
code
he
on
has
the
to do.
systems.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he has to do the tunneling. Okay. So
So
basically
in the code,
tunneling.
no. So basically in the code, right? So I have
Mm-hmm.
the code can do tunneling. I've written the code in such a way.
Okay. But the tunneling means we need to have a bastion also, right, Vikram?
Yes.
Okay. 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 Yeah. So we'll have to create bastion also as one of the infra in the account.
Yes. So basically in the code, if you see, I've written a function called create SSH tunnel.
Got it.
So if
Yeah.
here it will pick up the say the bastion credentials and it can create a tunnel also.
Mm-hmm. And how do you pass the IP address and all? Like bastion will have some public IP.
Yes. So those will have to set up in dev.env.
Dev.env. So for everything it is dev.env.
Yes.
Got it. Sure.
Okay. But so Sagar, until the time Nitin sets it up, right? What you can do is set up Postgres on your laptop.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. Set on your laptop and just here, if you see Postgres here, right? Here you can just change it. So obviously host will remain same. DB also let it remain same. You can just change the user and password.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So
Okay.
basically newspublisher.py is one file that you need to look into. Newsconsumer.py. Okay. And so what newsconsumer.py will internally call some API endpoints. So where do you look into those API endpoints? It's here. Inside there's a folder called routes. Inside the folder called routes, ROUTES. Okay. So here we have various routes for different purposes. Like here we have summarized text. So here you can send an article for translation, for summarization, a scrap URL. Okay. So if you go through the code, you will understand that the process URL is actually called by the consumer. It will pass, a message, basically a link of an article to be processed, and this process URL will process the article and store it. Now, if you go to every routes.py, right, I've added something called to do. So these are some of the things that you will have to do. I've left it to be done so that when you write the code, right, then once you write code, you will understand the entire code base better. So that's why
Okay,
I've
sir.
left it for you to do.
Okay, I'll do it.
So inside routes.py, so here at the top I've added comments, what each of the file is actually meant for. Right? At the top you will
Okay.
find comments. Okay. So basically any endpoint that you need to create, you can come to any of these routes. Here is basically where you have to create the endpoint. Okay. Now to run the microservice, right? Basically it's a fast API web app, Sagar. So the main file is this one. Okay. So the main files, like here we have three services. One is the publisher, consumer, and the microservice. For publisher, the main file is inside news publisher, it's newspublisher.py.
News publication.
For consumer, within consumer is newsconsumer.py. And for the microservice, here, like news collector API.py. This is the main file.
Okay.
Which will run this support. Okay. And all the requirements are here. So Sagar, you'll have to set up these requirements. You'll find
Okay,
the
I'll do
requirement.
it.
Okay. But also your system will need two databases. One is Postgres and one is Redis.
Okay.
Okay.
Vikram, in production also we would need a Redis database.
Yes, yes, Nitin. Yes, yes, Damodarji.
Yes, Damodar,
So,
yeah. So that will be
that,
internal only, right? Yeah.
yes. So,
Yeah.
Nitin, that's already I've mentioned in Docker Compose file.
Yeah, yeah, Docker Compose file. Got it. So, Damodarji, one thing we need to do is, like, say, by the time we are coming up with the infrastructure setup and all in the GCP account, right?
Yeah.
Sagar can actually, on his laptop, install the
Okay.
Docker engine, and then he can basically build all the Docker images, and then he can run the Docker Compose file and he can test it there.
Okay.
Right? What do you say? I think just like the
Okay.
way we used to do. So you need to basically set up the Docker engine only, Sagar, on your machine, on the laptop. And then
Okay.
you can actually you can use the Docker file, build the images, and then basically in the compose file, you need to pass the image and you can run it. So we can have